Lacrosse leadership community. My name's Ryan Berns. As you know, I'm the president of this fun institute. It's our mission to empower all those that love lacrosse, to use the skills that you gain from the sport to ultimately live the life of your dreams. Today, we have Aaron Civalier. He's an alumni of Nazareth College. Him and his brothers were all All-Americans, national champions, but now he gives back. He's been coaching up and down the East Coast. He's involved with FCA Upstate Lacrosse, as well as doing individual lessons with AA Lacrosse, focusing on building the next generation of All-Americans. Aaron, thank you so much for being a part of our community and this conversation today. Can you please take some time to introduce yourself and let us know how you got started in lacrosse?
Hey, Ryan. Well, I appreciate thanks for having me on here. I'm Aaron Civalier from Rochester, New York. It's a small city in upstate New York. And how I got started in lacrosse, I was kind of born into the family, but it all kind of started with my oldest brother, Adam, getting his first stick. My dad's cousin was a coach at RPI, which is another Division III school in the Albany area here in New York. They were actually in town in Rochester playing the University of Rochester. And my dad was a big baseball fan. He, loved the Yankees, wanted us to play baseball. We're going to do this, and this. But he brought my older brother Adam to watch the game. And Marty gave him a stick, and the rest is history. So I was just fortunate enough to be, I guess I wouldn't say fortunate. Got beat up quite a bit, but the youngest brother, just kind of had my brothers, following their footsteps and their shadows, and kind of how I ended up at Nazareth as well. Thankfully had a great career there, and then been coaching ever since. So that is it. Nutshell.
Aaron, so cool. I love hearing the stories that parents wanted one thing, we ultimately find a stick one way or another, and then as we all know, lacrosse just has a way of hooking you and making it so that you get to keep playing even through all the pain.
Yeah, the best drug known to man is lacrosse, I'll tell you that.
Absolutely. I love to ask everyone, what's your pinnacle lacrosse moment or moments?
Oh, wow. Yeah. So that's a loaded question. I fell in love with it at a young age, watching my older brothers play. They were just on some very talented teams. I remember in the mid '90s, I was, 8, 9, 10 years old, watching Nazareth College, win national championships, and my brother, being able to host a trophy above his head, so that just, got me the itch just to try to top my brothers. Maybe playing wise, obviously being named an All-American and being all conference, playing in the senior North-South All-Star game for in college as well. Being able to participate and be on the Rochester Rattlers as long as, with my brother Alex as well. I remember even our alumni game in Nazareth, the first time after I graduated in 2009, it was the first time all three of us were on the same team, so that was kind of fun playing, alongside with my brothers, even though it was just an alumni game. I don't know, some other pinnacle moments, being able to coach in college, that was a dream of mine. Having success at that level too, coaching the first All-American at the University of Miami when I was down in Florida. The list goes on and on. I don't want to keep up any more time, but, watching my brother, win the MVP of the national championship game when they lost to Salisbury in 2004. And first time, maybe the second time in history that's ever happened, that the MVP came from the losing side of the game. To him being the only Division III player drafted in the MLL in 2006. There's just so many moments that I could talk about that come to my mind. Even back in the early 90s, going maybe in the late 80s, going to Geneva, New York, and watching Hobart play Nazareth. Then Hobart, heyday, the national championships that those guys ran. Just watching so much lacrosse at such a young age, just, it just got me juiced, got me going. So
the juice gets going, and I think it keeps us entertained, and it keeps us coming back and forth. I can imagine that it's such a great opportunity to win the national championship, to see your brothers do so well, to be MVPs, and it always seems to raise the level. We were talking with Ryan Powell a couple episodes back, and he was talking about just trying to beat his older brother and just always trying to one-up them. And it seems like a fun family affair. And it sounds like you all have a pretty similar relationship where you all are playing together and pushing the envelope. Or could you share a little bit more about you and your brothers, how that worked?
Of course, yeah. I mean, it's really just what it was. It's that sibling rivalry. I mean, everyone sets out to be, I'm gonna, go D1 and get a scholarship, and I'm gonna, be the best, and that's all fine and dandy. But it was a little bit more for me personally because, of my brothers, being so close to them in age as well. Like just every. Oh, Civalier. Oh yeah, Adam, right? I'm like, yeah, no, that's my brother Adam. Like I'm Aaron. I'm good too. It's just, I don't know, it's that drive that we had, obviously it's just that, maybe that Thanksgiving dinner at the dinner, that, Sunday family dinner. It's just that, oh, I scored 3 goals. Well, yeah, well, I did that in the national championship game. You're like, okay, yeah, I can't beat that. So it's just, I don't know, just those jabs that we have. And it's funny that you mentioned the Powell brothers. We actually know them pretty well. Carthage and Syracuse is not that far away from Rochester. Casey and my brother Adam are good friends. Because when Casey was in college in Syracuse, they were winning national championships. My brother Adam at Nazareth was winning national championships, so their path has crossed several different times. That's just kind of how we were raised. Granted, we did play other sports. I was a 3-sport athlete: football and basketball. Same thing with my brothers. So we always kind of had that competitive drive, like, I could throw the ball further than you, or I can, score, this many left-handed goals compared to, right-handed goal, whatever it might have been. It's just, I always had to one-up my brothers, or at least try to.
How did you guys ultimately choose Nazareth?
Well, me kind of fell in my lap, obviously, just following my brothers. I believe my oldest brother, Adam, wasn't the best student. He was highly recruited, just grades wise, kind of got held back, couldn't get into some schools. I think he might have ended up at Holy Cross, maybe Sacred Heart, one or the other. I can't really remember. But he ended up going to community college, MCC here in Rochester. And then his buddy, Brett Rothfuss, was at Nazareth, who's another All-American midfielder of the year, another great lacrosse player that he, just they were good friends and got him involved, got him over there. I mean, Scott Nelson, who's a legend of a coach, was the coach at Nazareth. Those teams were stacked. I don't care if it's D3. I think they could have ran with those Syracuses, the Princetons, the John Hopkins. That's kind of how I fell in love with lacrosse at Nazareth, and how I ended up there. Now, me personally, I was highly recruited. I had a couple of scholarship offers to go Division I, committed to UMBC in Baltimore. Which is kind of why I do what I do now, and kind of lead a path for these kids to maybe not take the route that I went. I thought I was invincible. My older brothers, national championship, All-Americans. He played for the Buffalo Bandits, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I just thought I was too good, invincible, so to speak. And I got in trouble in high school. I was partying and drinking, and, some other things happened. So the offers went away. I remember calling Coach Randall at Nazareth College to figure out a time where I could sit down to his office and talk to him. Because I really wasn't recruited at Nazareth per se. But, he gave me an opportunity. I did learn a lesson, and I'm happy and that Nazareth College is a very good lacrosse school, rich in tradition. I mean, I believe there's over 150 All-Americans. We went to the NCAA tournament over 22 years, I believe. 3 national championships, so on and so forth. So it's a very good lacrosse school, as well as education, obviously. But that is how I ended up at Nazareth, was following my brother's footsteps again. But I made some poor decisions as a teenager, and I just have learned from it and was able to still, reach my goals in my playing career.
Well, it's cool, Aaron, that you're able to take adversity or a challenge or a situation you may have created for yourself, but be able to spin it and turn it into what it is now. And it sounds like it's really motivated you as well to give back and make sure that the next generation of players, the next guys that want to be the All-Americans, they know, hey, this can be a consequence of some of your actions. Don't do that. Can you share a little bit more about the All-American mentality and what it takes to get there?
The mentality for that is really it's doing your job. I feel like the Bill Belichick football mindset, but it's putting in the extra time. You're expected to do this, right? Everyone is expected to do that, but the All-American goes that extra mile. He's the first guy in the locker room, the last one to leave. He's early, and that's on time. If you're on time, you're late, and if you're late, don't even bother showing up because you clearly don't want it. It's doing the little things right, because those little things add up to big things. I preach to my players all the time, because they're doing underhand and behind the backs and whatever. Well, let's learn how to shoot overhand first before you can do X, Y, and Z, because you're going to shoot underhand, you're still going to miss the goal. It's not even a goal because you can't score if you can't get it on target. So it's just breaking it down. It's that extra time spent when no one's around watching. It's what you take home from practice, because that's what practice is it's getting the team ready to prepare for the game. But in order to have a good practice, we have to have the stick skills, both left-handed and right-handed, the mindset, the conditioning, the strength, the nutrition, everything adds up to that. But it's how hard you're working, when coach isn't there telling you what to do, or mom and dad or whoever, it's you have to be determined to be the best at your craft. Lacrosse is hard. Lacrosse will play itself, but it's how you play lacrosse that will set you apart from the next person. So,
and Aaron, that is absolutely perfect in terms of what it takes, the above and beyond. It's the person that does more when no one's watching and is able to do that. And I always like to ask what leadership means to all of our guests, and it may be aligned with this, but I'd love to hear your take on what leadership really means to you.
Sure. There's a lot of different forms of leadership. Some people are vocal, some people lead by example. So there's more than one way that I look at leadership. But it's first and foremost, it's clarity. You have to be clear and concise, what your goal is. Is it, I've tried out for the varsity team in the high, I want to make my varsity team, or, I do have aspirations to go play, NCAA lacrosse, or, whatever it may be, but know your goal and understand the work that it will take to get there. So that's first and foremost. Your decisiveness, you have to be willing to commit and go, be all hands on deck to be, able to go to the next level. Especially now, lacrosse is big and it's only getting bigger. Look at you, you're out there on the West Coast in Arizona. When I was a kid, I don't even remember playing teams from further than Ohio, maybe. I don't know. It just has grown so much, even for me just being a coach after I was done playing in college. I've been down to Florida, I've been down to Georgia, coaching FCA at Georgia Southern and University of Miami. I believe you went to Arizona State. I had a teammate of mine who was actually a coach at Arizona State, Joe Thumb. 2015, maybe, I want to say.
Yeah.
14, I don't know. Somewhere in that range. When I was down in Miami, we were trying to get you guys over to play spring break with us. But anyway, just the opportunities that arrive. You have to be able and committed to set some things that might come your way that will take you away from the focus that you need. you know, whether it's at family, whether it's friends or work or whatever it might be, you know, you have to be willing to manage your time properly to still reach your goal. Because life happens, it is what it is. But, you know, the ones that are leaders tend to figure it out. Goes into passion. I believe you're going to need the passion to do it. If you don't have love for the game, it's a grind. And it could suck the fun out of it. So having passion for lacrosse, I mean, look at me. Yeah, you know, there's wooden sticks and sticks from 1980 over here. I've been in love with it for so long, and it's helped me out to where I am today. And then understanding that, you know, being humble. You're not always right. I'm not always right. You know, that's just, you know, we're human. You know, you're going to make mistakes. I think being a good leader is knowing that, getting constructive criticism back and learning from it, and, you know, not making a mistake, you know, happen again, not letting history repeat itself. I think sometimes kids today have trouble with that. You know, some coach might get on you just because they see a higher standard in you. And you think that, you know, he doesn't like you and he's yelling at you and, you know, whatever, but it's, you know, criticism. You're going to have to, you know, face facts at some point. You know, even after your lacrosse career is over with, you know, you're done with college, you get a job, your boss is going to be down your neck too. Like, you know, everyone's going to have real life situations where you know, it is what it is, and you're going to have to hold yourself to a higher standard. You know, being able to understand all that is it's a hard thing, and then being a good leader is bringing someone else along with you, whether it's one person or is it, you know, we're part of a team. You know, reaching that common goal, whether it's to, you know, win a championship or go to the next level, or, you know, whatever that team goal might be for yourself. It's understanding all of that and then collectively, you know, going towards it. So that is my, you know, definition, I believe, of a good leader in leadership.
Aaron, I love the idea of taking someone and bringing them with you, as well as everything else you said. The fact that you have to have the passion, you have to be humble, that what you get from the sport ultimately follows you the rest of your life in your professional career as well, because there's always going to be someone who's ahead of you, and you're always going to be trying to either get ahead or do something different. And we can leverage one another for that. And that's the idea of this whole Lacrosse Leadership Institute, is learn those skills, learn how others have crafted their story to be successful, so that you can craft your own story while using others that just have absolutely wonderful metaphors or analogies. And one thing that you said, just bringing someone with you, makes me think of the conversation with Jack McKee with the Two Wolves Performance. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he said the exact same thing. Just give a stick to someone else. Be able to bring more people together. And I see you two as just huge icons just from out here. You're doing so much for the youth, actually making the kids work hard, or not making them, but giving them opportunities to work hard, get better. And that's what's so exceptional. I would love to hear your input for anyone who's looking to play lacrosse at the next level, whether it's the middle schoolers trying to play on that elite high school team, high schoolers looking to go to college kids looking to play at the highest level and be All-Americans. What is something, or what are a few things that these individuals, guys or girls, should really focus on?
Right. Well, I think at the younger ages, don't think about, I'm going D1 right now. I mean, that's a dream and that's the ultimate end goal. Colleges can't even talk to you until you're starting your junior year in high school. So you're 12 years old, be 12 years old, right? Go have fun. Right? That's all I think you should focus on, is at the end of the day, I got a smile on my face when I run off the field, right? That's what I want to see. Obviously, you know, working on stick skills and all the intangibles, yes, you're still going to have to maintain all of that, but you're not going to win a national championship today. You're not going to go to college today. Worry about yourself right now in this moment today. You know, what can I do today that will, you know, make me better at lacrosse tomorrow? You know, is it hitting the wall for, 100 right, 100 left, taking that extra shot, after practice, putting in the extra work. If I want to go from middle school to high school, trying to get to that level, playing there, getting to know your varsity coach. Each town is different. Each school district is different, but if the varsity coach knows who you are, that's a good thing. So if you're, in the middle school and you're playing for that school team, knowing, trying to get, hey coach, send them an email or a text like, hey coach, we're playing, this town on, this date. It would be great if you could swing by and watch the game, just to, get them to know you. Or go to their, the varsity game is playing, the rival team. I remember watching my brothers play in high school. I couldn't wait and dream to be, on that varsity team. So that's that part. Younger, worry about being a kid, right? Have fun, worry about today. Once you get into high school, you want to be noticed and get recruited and go on to the next level. So now for your high school kids, there's not that many scholarships out there, NCAA wise. Granted, there's a ton of schools nationwide that offer lacrosse. You can go NAIA and go full ride, just as an example. NCAA, there's only, 12 and a half scholarships per team. Division II, there's only, 10 and a half scholarships per team. And there's only like 100 schools at each level that have that. So you're fighting for not many scholarships, which that's what everyone, I'm going to go full ride. Yeah. Well, if you're really smart and have good grades, that's actually going to get you more money towards school than lacrosse will. So understanding that, it is very hard to be in that 1% of athletes nationwide. And that is only getting bigger every single year. I mean, I don't know what the stat is now, but I think last time I checked, there was like a million plus kids that play lacrosse. Right here in Rochester alone, there's thousands upon thousands of kids in my hometown. And I'm from upstate New York, one of the hotbeds of lacrosse. So that's what I tell my kids that I train today is like, listen, yes, you're a part of the hotbed, but just because you have a stick in your hand doesn't mean a college is going to come licking your way. You're still going to have to put effort and work into this. So for kids out west, for you, what I would try to do is if you're a good lacrosse player, you're going to get found. All right. So don't get frustrated when, this person who is committed, to this school, or, hey, Johnny got invited to this showcase, or, whatever it may be. Don't get frustrated. Fight your own fight. That's somebody else, right? If you are good at lacrosse, coaches will find you. And that's, I don't know, it's different for each person too. Know who you want, know where you want to go to school. Are you an East, if you want to play legit lacrosse and you're out West, you're going to have to travel out East, most likely. I know some kids from here, I'm in upstate New York, there's no ocean. We want to go see the beach. We're going to move. We're going to go somewhere and hang out. And I was the coach down in Miami. That I was like, I made a wrong decision. I should have went to Miami. Darn it. So, I mean, it depends on who you are. So know who you are and where you want to go, and then understand the work that it's going to take, to take that path, and just being honest with yourself. Some kids are not, are just better than other kids. Whether it's God gifted talent, genetics, whatever it could be, work ethic. I mean, everyone's different, but just be honest with yourself and don't let anyone get in your way. Don't get distracted, stay focused, and, don't make mistakes like I did, because I thought I was invincible and you're not. So.
Well, Aaron, thank you so much for that thought. I think it's so important to, first and foremost, focus where your feet are, stay in the present, the moment, do all that you can there. I know that it's great to have goals. It's great to understand what consequences come from different actions, but be the best version of yourself right now and continue to build upon that foundation. And then to think about all the different opportunities college is huge. I think that's a big and maybe not an overly talked about aspect of playing lacrosse. We all want to play D1 NCAA, but again, it's not right for everyone, and not everyone has that opportunity or wants to put in the work to have that opportunity. But that doesn't mean you can't play lacrosse at college. You can find a place that really works for you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a lot of exposure with lacrosse now. I mean, when I was growing up, we saw lacrosse once on TV, and that was the Final Four, and then we didn't see it again until the following Memorial Day weekend. Now, I mean, look, there's a lot of college lacrosse on TV. There's a lot of professional lacrosse on TV. You know, we got the internet, we got YouTube, we got social media. I mean, there's a lot of exposure. I think it's only good for the sport because I think more big schools will start getting varsity NCAA teams. I mean, I know when I was down in Miami, I was pushing for it with the school. The athletic director got really annoyed with me a few times, but I kept knocking on the door like, hey, come on, why not guys cross? Like, let's go. You know, I'm sure you had similar stories out in Arizona at ASU. So I could see schools going that way, especially now with the girls, because I know Arizona has girls lacrosse. You know, there's USC out in California, the Pac-12. You know, I could only seeing that happen. I don't know. I could just, I don't know, dreaming. That's all. But it's just, I don't know, understanding the opportunities that are there, because it is fun to go and travel and see the world, you know, outside of what you think that is what's happening right now. Because I know, you know, when I traveled to Georgia and when I traveled to Miami to coach club, I mean, it was, you know, some of the best times of my life. And that had nothing to do with, you know, there's still a big tournament, you know, there's still all the accolades. There's still really good lacrosse players. I remember playing this kid from LSU as a tackman, long flowing hair, he had like 7 goals. I'm like, who is this kid? Like, why is he at LSU? Like, what is going on? So there's a lot of good lacrosse players that are out there. And it is a good opportunity to get your foot in the door, whether that's, you know, at a big time school, or is it, you know, just a small Division III or NAIA school, you know, whatever it may be. It is an opportunity to get a great education, set yourself up with, you know, a career. And like you said, I mean, you know, one thing that you preach is, you know, live the life you want to live. Lacrosse is just a tool to help you get there.
Absolutely. Well, Aaron, thank you so much for spending the time to be with us today and sharing your story and so many great tidbits. Is there anything else that you want to add to this conversation?
I mean, I thank you for having me. I appreciate it. You know, I definitely, you know, happy that we got connected. You know, lacrosse just is another small community that has helped me out greatly, you know, in my life. And I just, you know, wanted to spread that to several others, and give kids these opportunities. You know, hopefully one day that, you know, if you want, can expand out there, get me out there, I definitely can coach and help out. If you would like to do that, you know, reach out to me. Because I know, you know, like you said, you're talking about Jack at Two Wolves. You know, I've talked to him, you know, several different times, you know, with coaching and things like that. You know, we're happy to share. You know, I'm not afraid to give drills and you know, different shooting tips or, you know, whatever, you know, because what we're sharing the great love for the sport of lacrosse, because in the long run, it's only going to help each other out. So, you know, I'm here for anybody, you know, reach out. You know, last night I had a client of mine down in Atlanta who had his first varsity game. You know, he got covered by the long pole for the first time. He didn't know, you know, what to do because the long pole was kind of shut him down. Well, I'm happy to help out and reach out, like, to give some tips. You know, you don't have to be from right here in Rochester. You know, I've talked to clients all over the country and in different countries too. So, you know, it is a small community. It's a small world, and we just, you know, we're here to help. So that's all.
Awesome, Aaron. Well, thank you so much. Really appreciate you. Have a absolutely wonderful day.
Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it. Have a good one.